Hi guys, my name is Gil. Welcome back to Crypto Time channel. Today we're gonna talk about Fibonacci Extension tool and how that tool can help us to identify the main support and resistance. Okay, so let's run the intro. So as I said guys, we will learn how to use Fibonacci Extension tool to help us to identify the main support and resistance. So let's jump into the chart. Here we are, Bitcoin daily chart. So the first thing I want you to show is how the tool looks like. So you can find that tool for free in every single trading platform. I'm using TradingView. You can find that in a free version as well. So you just go to your left panel and click on here, and then you'll find many different tools. But we will talk about the extension, Fibonacci Extension tool. So then you click on the star to save in your favorites. Okay, so you can go from here, or you can leave your favorites tab right there. And I won't go, deep who Fibonacci was and his work, but feel free to, to Google it and check it out, his work and everything about, Fibonacci golden ratio and sequence. I have a video where we use, the Fibonacci, another tool, so Fibonacci retracement tool. I will leave the link down below in the description, so please check it out again. But today we'll learn how to use the extension tool. Okay, so let's click on that just to know, just to see how that looks like. Okay, so mine is it's not the default version, but you can click on that and check the the properties. We will see a more colorful background, stuff like that. You can add the background here, remove. I like to remove the background, makes my life easier. So one thing to mention is so the price, so the number between the parentheses, those are the price at that level. Okay, the price of that asset, in this case Bitcoin, at that level. Okay, if you want to remove, that's fine, is even better. I'm just gonna keep for the sake of that video. The levels as well. So, but the levels, those are the Fibonacci levels. So you won't remove that, okay? But what you can do is to go to values and change to percentage if you like to do so. Okay, so as you can see, change the Fibonacci values or levels to percentages. Okay, so that represents the the extension of the next move. If it will be, let's say, 50%, 100%, so on. Okay, I'm gonna keep values. Okay, and click OK. So let's clean. Let's remove everything. So the concept here is to identify the next move of an asset. So if we take an uptrend as our starting point, so we have an uptrend. Okay, we have an uptrend, and as we know, the price can go up or down, but always in waves. Okay, always in waves, so never in a vertical line. Okay, so the price is moving in an uptrend like this. Okay, so the idea here behind the tool is to get the beginning of the first movement, which is this part here, and the end of that first movement, and finally drag the tool down to the end of the pullback. And that will basically that will print, and that will show us the levels above that region, and where the price can probably go next based on the extension of that movement, okay, of the first movement and the first pullback. Okay, so that's the idea in an uptrend. So we're gonna see, using the tool, that we have to click and to select the beginning of the movement, the end of that movement, finally drag down the level 0 of that scale, all the way down to the end of the pullback. Okay, and then that will project Fibonacci levels above that region, and we can know there that the price could reach some of those levels. Okay, so let's do that then. Let's remove. So the first one I want to show you guys is the uptrend. Okay, the uptrend. So here we are, Bitcoin daily chart. Let's zoom in. So the idea here is to select the first movement, so the beginning and the end of the first movement. So let's assume that we're gonna pick this first movement, and our first movement is from this point here, okay, all the way to this top right here. Okay, that will be our first movement. Of course, if you want to consider the first movement as, let's say, this way here up to here, and then the deep right here, that's fine as well. So we can do is to use the replay tool to make that easier to see. Okay, so let's assume now we don't know, okay, what's going to happen next. Okay, I think that's easier to understand if we use the replay tool. Okay, so now let's assume we are in this time look at the chart, and then so we want to know if this is the end of the pullback, and if it's the end of the pullback, what can we expect for the price of Bitcoin? So what regions the price could reach next? Okay, so I will consider the beginning of this movement somewhere right here. Okay, somewhere right here. So let's zoom in a bit. So I will click on the magnet to help me. So I will select the tool. So again, Fibonacci Extension tool. So the first thing you have to do for an uptrend is to pick your beginning of that first movement. So our first movement in this point in time will be this leg here, okay? So, and then we click again at the top. And then what we know at this stage is that the correction, the dip is right here. So let me go back, zooming in. So the dip is this candle right here. Is this candle right here, okay? So I picked the beginning of the movement. I dragged the second dot, or the second point, up to the all-time high in this case, which was here at this candle, and then I dragged the tool down to the deep, of the potential correction. So what I want to know is the main support and resistance that the price will find on its way up. And in this case, I have all those levels. Okay, so I have all those levels. So what I can do is to draw some lines or horizontal lines to remember. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I might draw one basically on this spot. So 0.618. That one is one of the most important points of the Fibonacci levels, especially for crypto. So 0.5 and 0.618. But we'll see in crypto we can expect the price to to go next to the 1.6, even 4 sometimes. I wouldn't expect 3 and 4 every time, but we can expect at least reach the 6.18, but very likely to go, depending on that movement, very likely to go in a long term, on those levels above. Okay, so let's see. We have now, okay, all those zones. So those zones we can say will work as a support and resistance, for the price. And then we can have our strategies of taking profits or the buying zones and stuff like that based on Fibonacci zones. So I believe the Fibonacci, I'm just gonna extend that to the right side, and I will play. Okay, I will play. So we will see the price movement. So right here I stopped. You see, after the pullback, the price gains full again, gains momentum again, and is going up once again. So now just reached the 0.618 region. Okay, so let's play. You see, so it's breaking through here, going all the way up to the region 1 or 100%, and then it's correcting here. So let's play. So hits that region, that level again, 2 times, many times actually here. So what I'm showing you here, guys, is the important zones where the price can go next, and those zones will work as support and resistance. So far we can see that in our example that the price finds some of those regions. So, and then the most important regions are 3.382, 0.5, 0.618, 1. Those are important zones where the price will find resistance and eventually support. So you can see right here the price hits that level, so as a resistance, and breaks through, goes all the way up there to 0.618 as a resistance, goes back down to 0.5 as a support and keeps a while there, then breaks through, goes almost to the 100 or 1 level, so goes down again, finds a support, breaks through the support, goes to the next support, it's the 0.5 region, and holds here somewhere and goes back. So you got the picture, right? So we can see and know our strategy based on those levels. So if we know the main levels we can expect to, to have some gains, and maybe do, some people they do partials because of this example right here, where the price actually don't go all the way to that spot. And again, we don't work actually at exactly at that spot. So that is the resistance or support. It's fine, but we have to consider everything as zones. So zones of interest. So buyers and sellers, they will have interest at those zones. Okay, so that's important to know and to mention. So never look at those zones, 1.5 or whatever, and work exactly at that level. So always look those points as zones of interest from for buyers and sellers. Okay, so you got the picture, support and resistance right here. Okay, let's keep playing, zooming out. So you see the price again hits that region, resistance, breaks through, goes back down. I might extend that a bit. Let's extend that. Okay. So you got the picture, guys. If we extend that to the right side, okay, we see that the price is moving through those support and resistance. So once we get that right, we can expect to know important zones. And lots of people, lots of traders, they are looking at those zones for selling and buying. So we have to keep our eyes on it. So let's play. So again, so then the price starts going up again. So okay, you got the picture. That's how we can draw the Fibonacci for an uptrend. I'm gonna clean now everything. Let's go back to the chart. So one thing that I think we can mention is, so that will depend on where you picked your points. Okay, so you have to consider like the time you are in. I mean, the price now is right here. Okay, but if we go back in time, we can exercise the tool. So I will suggest you guys to go and practice that in the chart. So let's go to the monthly chart, because that is Bitcoin lifetime. Okay, so I just want to show you to do the same thing, but to predict where the price can go in a bull cycle. Okay, so let's go back in time, and so let's go back to where is that? Okay, where am I? Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the times. Let's see. Yeah, let's go back to here. So 2013. So what I want to do is to pick, actually let's go here. Okay, the beginning of this movement. So this was the bull cycle of 2017. So I will pick this candle as the beginning of the movement, and I will pick the second point, the top of that cycle, and I will drag the tool down to, you know, this dip right here. Okay, so let's practice and see what happens. So I'm gonna use the magnet to precisely do that. Okay, so I clicked on the first part of the movement and then the end of the first movement. Okay, and then I will drag the tool to the bottom of that pullback, that correction. Here is in a very large scale, guys, okay? Because we are talking about months. Okay, so months and months. So let's just, so again, I'm looking at the beginning of the movement right here, the end of the movement, so the end of the cycle right here, and then the pullback, so the dip of the pullback right here. Okay, so that will give me for, you know, the next cycle or the next months, sometime in the future, we don't know when, but we know at least for Bitcoin that is an uptrend for the long term. It's always moving up. Okay, so we can try to predict, you know, the price zones for the next cycles or the next months, next years. So as you can see, if I draw lines, horizontal lines here to highlight the zones, I can go to 0.618. I can go to the 1. It's very important zone for the long term. So 1.6 and 2. Okay, so I would mark those 4. So to be on the safe side. Okay, so you can see that after months and months, the price actually goes and reads all those levels. Okay, so we kind of have those levels are acting as support, very strong support and resistance, as well as you know, as well as points of interest for buyers and sellers. So you see here, so reached the number 3 actually. So if we draw another line on the third level, not the third level, but the number 3, the level 3 there of the tool. So we see that we reached the next one. Okay, the number 3. Okay, sometimes in crypto we can even reach the number 4 level. But I would work you know, with 1 from 0.618 up to number 2. Okay, I would be on the safe side, so taking profits if that's your strategy. So you know, so if you bought, let's go back here. So if you bought Bitcoin somewhere here, okay, or here, doesn't matter, you would know that in some time in the future that price would reach those levels, and if you want or decide to sell, you can aim your targets okay, to one of those levels. So I would suggest work with 1, 1.6 and 2, okay, at least. And then if you are more comfortable with the risk, you can aim number 3 and even 4. Okay, that's why I leave here sometimes, because of strong movements in the market, so we can aim for 3 and 4 as well. So here was an example of a very large scale use of this tool. Okay, so let's go back to the daily chart, and now I want to show you guys the downtrend. In a downtrend, we can try to spot where the price can go next, but now in a downtrend. So let's go back to 2018, where we had a bear market back there. So the idea is the same, but the only thing will change is the starting point and the ending point. Okay, so we will be on a downtrend, and we know that even in a downtrend the market moves in waves. That being said, we will have our starting point at the top of the movement. The end of the movement will be right before the pullback, and then we'll select the second point right here, and then we're gonna drag the tool all the way up to the end of the pullback, and that will project the numbers, the Fibonacci levels, down here. So we could expect the price to fall at those levels, at least the important levels. So, and then we can spot the main, in this case, the main supports as well. Okay, so let's clean and let's select one point. So I will consider my drop. Let's pick this movement right here. Let's use the magnet. So I will consider here as my starting point. So the price goes all the way down here. Okay, and then I will drag all the way up to that top right there. So right here we have the top of the pullback. Okay, so the price is going down, reaches a dip, goes back up, finds here a lower high. So it could be just a pullback to keep falling. So we can use our replay tool just to pretend we don't know what's going to happen. So now let's go back to the tool. Now we have our levels all the way down there. Okay, all the levels. So here's our pullback. We believe that's the pullback. Otherwise we have to adjust the tool. If we find another candle here breaking above the the zero level here, we have to adjust. So let's play. So the price is going down, so I would aim again. I would expect the price to go down at least, okay, at least to 0.618. Okay, so you see, just broke through. Let's keep playing. So let's extend that to the right side, guys, so you can keep tracking. So now you see the price is finding support and resistance at those levels. Okay, you see here, this is for a downtrend. So you see the price is finding support and resistance at those levels. Okay, so it's very important tool. So let's play. So here, see here, now the level 0.618 is a resistance. So the price is going back down there. See how the price is moving between the zones. So the price is falling, now it's going back up. So that give you guys an idea. You can add, you know, more zones if you want, because as you can see, in this case, we would have to, you know, to have more zones here to cover this gap. Okay, it's not the case. We don't need that. In this example, we could, you know, draw the extension tool in a different way, so we could find and find in a different way as well. I have a video covering that, how to find support and resistance as well. So clearly we can see that the price is moving in waves, and you know, in finding those levels as supports and resistance along the time. So yeah, so I think you got the idea. Practice, go back in time and check it out. Use the replay tool if you like. Let's go back to the chart. So guys, I think that's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video. So please check it out, the other videos in our channel. Lots of cool videos there. And please consider subscribe, hit that bell, and see you on the next one.